Sunday morning. So, here's a little story about an experience. About maybe 3-4 years ago, I had a very vivid dream time experience. In this experience, the man who raised me and I were in a house, and the start of the dream was just him pursuing me, coming after me as a matter of danger, and me just backing away, until eventually I was cornered and I grabbed a knife and placed it into that man's heart to protect myself. And then I held his hand and looked into his eyes, and he said, "It's not your fault." And I woke up sobbing. That deeply impacted me, and I told this man at the time. And some years later, last September, this actually translated into a real life experience. I didn't have to stab anybody, kill anybody, but I had to protect my own life physically, and I am a peaceful man. I would not cause harm to another. So I successfully defended my life, and as a result, 222, that man is now dead to me. Because, well, I'd question your heart stance if you wondered why that man can't be in my life. But this is the power of our thought and reality, and how we're able to receive information, translate it. So if I would have been in fear of that man actually trying to take my life, then I would have ended up dying. As it stands, that experience last year took me completely by surprise. And when I say I was physically assaulted, I don't want you to think that I'm refusing to be accountable for my part in that, because without my intending, I was a vessel for that situation to be instigated. So the events that immediately led up to a physical altercation was a really deep conversation speaking about respect and my experience as a human on this earth, speaking about parenting, speaking about forgiveness, speaking about love, about yeah, maybe 10 minutes before this incident, I hugged this man and collapsed on him and burst out crying and said with strong conviction, I will not apologise for being happy. On paper, what caused that incident was me saying that I was going to release a goldfish into the river because the goldfish told me that he did not want to live in a plastic box swimming in his own shit with no entertainment. And this man chose that moment to stand up for something, to believe in something. And this is the crux of the conversation that we had had, that I'd never seen him stand up for anything in my life, not stand for what is correct. So the delicious irony of the situation is not lost on me. I also had a dream a few years ago that my brother tried to kill me also. My brother was lying down on the grass in a park somewhere with a gun, and he was shooting at me, and I calmly walked over to him, took the gun off him, walked over somewhere to the left, dropped the gun and walked away. Now, this translated into a real life experience where I diffused my brother's anger, told him I would not accept that energy, and then went about my day, my life. I have been emancipated from the cult of family, and by that I mean I have become an individual. I have assumed the knowing of who I am outside of any false agreements or constructs. So you could see that the archetype of the father, if in its shadow element, would really not want for a child to become individuated, to live its own dreams. Obviously, a supportive, upright father archetype would want nothing more than that. Parents can look at their children and just be unconditionally loving and proud, or they can be jealous because children don't ask to be born. Some people think that having children is gonna achieve something or pan out a certain way. So this is the cult aspect of family, because two people have children and they expect for the child to be a certain thing, to appear a certain way, but they can't understand that a child is them or the foundational aspects of a child, the DNA, the makeup, is the mother and the father. So for people who have had their dreams shattered or weren't able to live out a life that they wanted to in the name of being happy, or if they equated happiness to something outside of their self, then a child is going to feel like a burden. And then especially if you have to provide for that child as well, like as in you've got no choice, otherwise the world will see you to be evil. Like the consequences of our actions in this life can be unbearable unless we're able to look through a lens of deep understanding and compassion for ourselves, for others. So that man, I told that man, there is no way I can respect him because of his actions, and there's no way I can respect the actions that he chose, even though unconscious people make choices that they really don't have a hand in. We have to be our own family. We have to be the village that raises the child. It's as simple as that.